Welcome everybody. In this tutorial we're going to be making a simple handgun. Now the cool part about this tutorial is I'm going to show you that sometimes when you're making and continually to model, sometimes you want to save along the way because the model that you end up with at the end might not be the model that you end up using. This may sound contradictory because, more work equals better models. Sometimes that's not always the case. So I'm going to show you what I mean by that. Let's tab into edit mode and let's loop cut. Okay, we're just going to cut a loop here. And what we'll also do is we'll also delete all the faces along this loop here. Push X and delete the faces. We're going to simply go and add in a mirror modifier. Okay, and we will make sure that we model the Y. Now, if yours doesn't model along the Y, try choosing a different axis. Okay, so again, this will be the handle, so it'll be something like this. Move it in and move it in like that here. Okay, now you can actually make a very simple handgun like this. And there we're almost done here. Make that a little bit bigger and push E to extrude, and there you go. Well, we're done this tutorial. Well, you may laugh and say that this is such a simple model that of course no one would ever do this, but if you look at some Nintendo 64 games, this is exactly what they would have actually. So a couple things we could do is we could, if we were making an ultra low poly game, is we could almost leave it at this. But we're going to go and make a little bit more here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to push E to extrude, and I'm going to hop into the edge. Select here. Just going to simply move that up. And if you want to, you can kind of move that out just a bit more. Okay. Pretty good stuff. We're going to push E to extrude here, and we're going to push scale. Now, what is this? This could be the sight here, and if we hop into the edge, we can move this out, kind of like that. Looking pretty cool already. And again, we could stop here if we were going for something a little less higher or higher poly, but not too high. Now we can bring this in just a bit, and we could bring this in if we wanted to, right? Or if we wanted to, we could push E to extrude and then kind of move it in. That's kind of like the handle. And now we could go and bring that in if we wanted to. Okay, and we can even move it out or move it in, but we're just going to bring it in towards the center. Okay, so kind of looking neat. Let's go and let's take this down all the way to the bottom. Okay, because there needs to be some kind of clip there, and you can see that it's starting to look pretty good. Move that in just a bit more, and now we have that as well. So what we can do is you can go to a loop cut, and I'm going to cut this along this side here and something like that, and I'm also going to do another loop cut, but this time it's going to be lengthwise, and I'm just going to simply cut it right there. Hop into the face select mode, and we're just going to push E to extrude, and now we have some kind of well, if we were to look through this here, you can kind of see we have a sight, at least the aiming part. Okay, we can make this wider or more narrow. It's completely up to you which one you want to do. Now, if we're going to do both of those, I'm going to actually move this one in first. Okay, and then I'm going to move that one in, and we can move this one in too. So you can see that just by moving a few lines around, we have something that looks a little bit better here. Okay, so one thing to remember is that just because you're going through your and making your model more detailed doesn't mean that you'll use the last iteration. Oftentimes you do, but sometimes you don't. All right, and that's how you make a simple handgun. This includes a tutorial.